Ken Trahan, Lenny Vangilder. It's our first NBC weekend preview for SportsNola.com. And the Saints have finished their mini camps. The next time that they'll convene will be for regular training camp at the end of July, which will lead into their first game very quickly since they play in the Hall of Fame game this year. Injuries, unfortunately, were a part of this last OTA session. Greg Romeus, in particular, certainly impacted. It's too bad for him, Lenny. He's a guy that they were hoping could contribute.
Yeah, I mean, this was almost going to be like a redshirt rookie year is the term you've seen used out there, because he was coming off the injury that occurred in his senior year of college, and they were hoping to be able to get him up to speed a little bit. And again, it was like a redshirt year in that he got to learn the system, but didn't get to play, get to practice. And then it's a freak situation. It was his other knee that he tore the ACL, MCL. He's looking at a 6 to 8 month recovery process. So basically, he's done for 2012.
Pretty interesting comments from Joe Vitt about the talent level of this team. I think he's sincere about that. Some would say, well, he's just trying to convince guys and put on a brave front. But I think this could be a more talented team than the one that concluded last season.
One thing I think we've seen from Joe Vitt since he's been put in the interim position with Sean Payton's situation is that he is a lot more honest and outspoken, perhaps, than Sean is. Sean wants to be very cautious and very calculated in his comments, and Joe Vitt is not like that. While he's going to he's not going to tip his entire hand, he is not afraid to express his opinion at times, much as he did earlier this week.
And he took the time to single out Sean Payton as well, and saying that Sean would be proud of the way things are progressing. So there's still a tremendous degree of loyalty there. Still no Drew Brees, but again, we still all expect that that's going to happen before July 16th.
They're close, and I mean that is the real deadline, like we talked about in this very spot last week. A lot of reports going around this time last week that it could be imminent, could be done in a day or so. Well, guess what? We're still here, and it's going to be right up to that July 16th deadline. It's a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to, turn the wheel first? Who's going to give in first and be the one that's going to maybe either give up a few dollars or give a few more dollars to make that deal happen?
Speaking of Tom Benson, the NBA approved the sale of the Hornets to Mr. Benson, so they are now the official owners of that franchise.
Yeah, we should, see really nothing different than what we've seen the last couple of months, only that some things can officially take place now that haven't before. And I think what we'll end up seeing, as has been mentioned, speculated out there, is we're going to see some sort of joint management system over both clubs. And, going forward from there, I mean, you'll still have your people to operate each club, but there will be somebody overseeing each of the individual areas for both the Saints and the Hornets. That'll be the biggest difference we see.
Otherwise, now a little bit of a focus on the Zephyrs here, as well as the Voodoo, as things calm down a little bit on the local sports front. So maybe this will be their time to shine.
Exactly. And this is a little bit of the quiet time. The college season locally is over. Thought maybe we'd be talking about LSU in the College World Series right now, but we're not. We'll be watching other teams, and who knows, maybe by the time they actually start playing the College World Series on Friday, they'll have fixed some of the spelling errors on some of the merchandise out there. I don't know if you've seen that. We've got Stony Brook with an E in it on one piece of merchandise. Kentucky State instead of Kent State. It's what happens when Cinderella crashes the dance. People don't know who they are necessarily and didn't spell them right.
And don't think those coaches won't use that as motivation for their teams as well. U.S. Open underway, brutal test of golf.
It really is. And 3 guys from Louisiana to watch this week. Of course, David Toms, the former major champion. John Peterson, the former NCAA champion out of LSU. And also that great surprise story out of Lafayette as well. So it's, be some local guys to root for. And, of course, everybody will be following what's going on with that big group on Thursday and Friday with Tiger and Phil and Bubba Watson.
Yeah, if they play beyond that, maybe 1 or 2 won't. Who knows? We'll see. And then last but not least, the New Orleans Jesters, the soccer team in action Thursday night and Saturday night at home against West Texas.
Yeah, and, they've only won 1 game this year, so a chance to maybe, get a couple of wins at home this week. But it's been tough so far for New Orleans.
Lenny, thanks as always, and thanks to you for listening. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you.
Same to you.
All right, that's our first NBC weekend preview. Thanks to First NBC Bank and our friend Ashton Ryan. And for SportsNola.com, I'm Ken Trahan.